All right, mathematicians, we're continuing on our journey of building number sense, which is experiencing numbers in lots of different ways, playing around with how numbers are connected to each other, how we can compose and decompose numbers to make bigger numbers or smaller numbers, really just seeing the relationships between different numbers. So you are going to work on some problems today that have to do with that macaroni mountain that we heard about at Banner. And I took the graph. Mr. Fairchild sent me a graph of the actual numbers of macaroni boxes that were collected from every single grade and from every single class. And so all the problems that you're working on today are real problems that are about this macaroni mountain. All right, so it is doing a word problem and thinking about this situation in real life, but it's also going to ask you to solve the problem using expanded form. Okay, and so I want to model this first one for you to give you an example of how this would look. So first, I'm going to use what we've been learning and what we've been practicing all year, which is when I see a word problem, I'm going to read it 3 times. You got it. The first time, I'm just going to get the gist, like what is happening here. The second time, I'm going to think, okay, what's this problem asking? What do I need to solve? And then the third time, I'm going to really start thinking, like, how do these numbers go together? Am I going to need to compose or decompose? What can I do to figure out the problem? Okay, so here goes. It says the kindergarten classes brought 407 and 367 boxes of mac and cheese. How many did the kindergarten classes bring in all? So it seems like there must be 2 kindergarten classes. One of them brought 407 and the other brought 367. Okay, now I'm going to read it again and I'm going to think like what's the question asking? So the kindergarten classes brought 407 and 367 boxes of mac and cheese. How many did the kindergarten classes bring in all? Okay, and sometimes it helps to do that with your hands, right? Like, okay, here's one class, here's the other class. Oh, it's asking in all. So it's asking to compose those together and make a sum of how many would those be if you combine them. So now I'm going to read it one more time. I'm going to think like, what can I do to solve this? So the kindergarten classes brought 407 and 367 boxes of mac and cheese. How many did the kindergarten classes bring in all? So I think since I know we're taking one amount and the other amount, we're combining them, I'm going to add this. And since it also has that extra little direction over here to show how you can use expanded form to solve it, I'm going to be sure that when I solve it, I'm going to try it with expanded form. And here's why. I know you could get the answer. I know some of you could maybe just Google it and type it up on the calculator and get the answer. I know you could use your blocks and add the blocks together and get it that way. All of those things are going to get you the answer. But today we're practicing building number sense through using expanded form. Okay, and this will look a little bit different when we used expanded form last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with the text box. And I'm going to look at those two numbers, 407 and 360. So I know I'm going to set up my equation, 367. Not sure what the amount is yet. So I'm going to set up my equation to start with. And then I think I'm going to do a new text box just to show how it could, we could show it with expanded form. So this time when I do expanded form, I know we've done it before where we add all the hundreds, we add all the tens, and we add all the ones, and that is always going to work. But today I want to show you that you can also start with the number that has the greatest value. So 407, and now I'm going to add up by the hundreds, and then I'm going to add up by the tens, and then I'm going to add up by the ones. So if I do 407, so I see here 300 plus 300. So that would be 507, 607, 707. right? So if I'm adding up 407 plus 300, I'd be at 707. So that's where I am now. I don't go back to 407 again. I'm just adding on until I've added everything that I expanded out from 367, right? So now I'm going to start at 707, and this time I'm going to add the tens. So 770 plus 6, or 707 plus 60. So I know 707, 717, 727, 737, 747, 757, 767. Right? Or I can just think like 60 is 6 tens, and there's no tens here, so I can just add it to it. So now I'm kind of keeping track of the total as I go. So now I'm at 767, and I still have 7 more from up here to add, right? So now I'm at 767, and I need to add 7 more. So, I could do this lots of different ways. I'm thinking I know 7 plus 3 is 10. So if I break this 7 here into 3 and 4, I'd be at 774. I could add up by 1, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 774. I could also know, like, well, 7 plus 7 is 14. So 760 plus 14 would be 770, 774. So lots of different ways to do that. But that is an example of how I can add on using expanded form. So I'm going to draw this out for you for just a quick second. If you think about what we've already learned this year about expanded form, remember 367 is equal to 300 plus 60 plus 7. So that's exactly what I added as we went along. And actually, you might even want to do that on yours first before you start adding. I think about the expanded form, 300 plus 60 plus 7. And down here, first I added 300, got to that. Then I added 60, got to that. And then I added 7, and I got to that. All right, since it's a word problem, I have one more step here, which is I need to write a complete sentence that tells the answer. So I'm going to say the kindergartners brought 774 boxes of mac and cheese in all. Okay, I think I'll put that in a different color just to kind of set it apart from everything else. Make it stretched out here. Might be too much. I think I'll stick with that. Okay, so there we go. I have my equation here. I showed it in expanded form, and then I have a sentence that tells the answer. All of those things are expected in your activity too. I do not want to just see the answer. The purpose is you're practicing breaking numbers apart. You're practicing using expanded form to add up and add on as you go. All right, mathematicians, looking forward to seeing the hard work that you do.